Hi, I'm Michael Yardney, and I was having my hair cut the other day when Joseph, my barber, said, Michael, I'm going to get into property investment. I'm going to make a fortune because I've learned how to invest like the pros. Now, each time I go to Joseph, the conversation somehow or other seems to revolve around property. But when I heard him say that he'd learned to invest like the professionals, I was a bit concerned. I know Joseph's been reading every book on property he could get his hands on. He's gone to the seminars, he's watched the free DVDs, the ones that the property markets are sending out. I also know while Joseph enjoys his job, he's sick of the rat race and trading his time for dollars. He's looking for a level of financial independence, financial freedom. Interestingly, he also told me he felt like he missed out on the last property boom. Because he didn't invest, he wants to make up for the lost time. He wants to get rich quick. In the past when we discussed property, Joseph was scared to take on more debt. He was scared to get in the property market. Instead, he paid down his mortgage on his home. Now, while he's got the security of minimal debt on his home, he feels he's got to catch up with many of his friends who bought properties a couple of years ago and now own 1, 2, 3 investment properties. And they're slowly working their way out of the rat race. When our property markets turned the corner in the middle of last year, I remember recommending to Joseph that he use the equity in his home to get into the property market, to buy a property investment. But at the time, all those pessimists in the newspaper, the ones in the media, I guess they held him back. But now, armed with his newfound knowledge, he was feeling confident enough to finally take the plunge into property. So when Joseph told me he knows how to invest like the pros, I had to ask, okay, how are you going to do it? Easy, he said. I've been to a seminar and I've signed up for a course. Then he pulled out this advertisement in the magazine that attracted his attention. It promised to make him $1 million. He'd be able to control $1 million worth of real estate using none of his own money and bypassing the banks. It also explained how the course presenter had made millions of dollars in 7 days. At that point I felt sorry for Joseph and for the thousands of other novice, I guess some experienced investors, who are going to be taken by the new breed of property spruikers who once again are out there in force. Sure, the promises sound enticing. The opportunity of getting life-altering fortune overnight by barely tapping the easy button as you breeze on the way to your deck chair on the beach. Why 7 days? Why not 7 hours or 7 minutes? Look, of course I'm being sarcastic. You can't become wealthy in 7 days. You probably couldn't even read the course material in 7 days. But just look at some of the ads I'm getting in my inbox. We'll teach you how to buy a property and renovate and sell for a profit. A great way to replace your job. Yet they don't explain that after paying tax and GST and the stamp duty on the next property purchase, you're likely to be left with very little profit. Then of course there's those courses that teach you how to buy property with options. Nothing or very little down today and you can own a property in 5 or 7 years' time. The problem is this nonsense that you should expect childishly simple microwave instant solutions to complex opportunities. And when you don't find them in one place, you go off to the next place, to the next pretender peddling it. That's what stops the average Australian ever becoming wealthy through property. The idea of instant, simple and easy has risen from being laughed at and ridiculed to being the expectation, in fact the entitlement of a new generation of investors. Okay, here's what the real pros do. They know you can't create wealth overnight, but you certainly can become rich in the medium to long term by knuckling down and seriously applying yourself in a dedicated, disciplined and persistent way. You've got to get there by following a proven system and have a safe property and finance strategy. Then you implement this by buying the right properties in the right location, at the right price, and then holding them for the long term. Not by adding hot water to a packet of magic beads and counting to 7. Yes, you should accelerate the process by learning the strategies of adding value through renovations or development. But you can't skip the initial fundamentals. While property spruikers went quiet during the real estate downturn, unfortunately the new property cycle is bringing out a fresh group of property pretenders. There are now property experts out there selling advice and courses despite having never built their own property portfolios. Now, this makes it timely to remind you that seminars promising easy wealth through property have all too often led to financial ruin. It's just the cycle repeating itself. I remember when I first started conducting property education seminars about 13 years ago, I had to compete with the unrealistic promises of Henry Kay. I don't know if you remember him, but he caused 13,000 consumers to lose about $60 million after attending his seminars. Now, just to be clear and reconcile my position, I've been conducting educational seminars for about 13 years, but I don't have any properties for sale at the back of the room, and I'm not paid to make a particular property developer's project look favourable. And I don't, and I never have promised instant riches. Sure, I sell the services of the team at Metropole, the professionals at Metropole, but they're independent and they're unbiased, and that's an important differentiating factor. If you're going to listen to somebody's advice, make sure it's unbiased. Make sure it's not self-serving. Be even more cautious if people are willing to offer you their advice for free. You know, the whole story, if it sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. Making things worse today is the internet and the mindset it's produced, which puts born yesterday pretenders and academic theorists on the same footing with long-established experts who painstakingly amassed their knowledge and have proven it over time in the real world. Some are in just too much of a hurry. What's happened is, in their haste to hitch onto this new property boom, some beginning investors have chosen to devalue credibility in favour of believability. Now let me explain the difference. Credibility requires education, experience, track record and proof of value. All things produced by an investment in time. On the other hand, believability requires only the ability to create belief. And that's so much easier to do today with a fancy website and a glossy brochure. All this sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Of course it is. So what can Joseph and other property investors learn from what's happened in previous property cycles? Or are they just going to be doomed to repeat it? My suggestion is to educate yourself and become financially fluent, but be careful who you learn from. As I've already explained, find a credible source, not somebody with incredible promises. This will allow you to be in control of your financial destiny. Now, of course, this doesn't mean you should do it all on your own. To become a successful property investor, you're going to need to surround yourself with a team of independent and unbiased professionals. A team of people who are known, proven and trusted. Then go ahead and take advantage of the new property cycle, because the future is bright for those who invest sensibly in real estate. Now have a think about this. What are you going to do about this? If you want to take advantage of the opportunities our growing property markets are offering at the moment, it's a good time to consider your options. If you're looking for independent advice, no one can quite help you like the independent team of property investment strategists at Metropole. Remember, the multi-award winning team at Metropole have no properties for sale, so their advice is unbiased. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, we'd love to help you formulate an investment strategy or review your existing portfolio to help take your property investment to the next level. So why don't you click the link at the bottom of this article so that you can come along and join us, have a chat. You can attend our offices in Melbourne, Sydney or Brisbane, and when you do, you're going to receive a free copy of my latest 2-DVD program, Building Wealth Through Property Investment, that's valued at $49. So just give us a call at Metropole. We'd love to have a chat with you.